Looking for clarity and confidence when it comes to decision making for your business? You've come to the right place. You're now listening to the Atomic Business Coaching Podcast.
I am Adam, and I work on the business.
And I'm Tom, and I work on the owner.
And together, we're Atomic Business Coaching.
And we're in the business of helping owners. What's going on, Adam?
Hey, pal. How are you?
I am great. It is a great day. We've had great insights the last 24 hours, and I feel like things keep going and going and going. Just wrapped up a great session with one of our clients. Big breakthroughs happening. You know, limiting beliefs are going away for a lot of our clients, and that's kind of like what I wanted to talk about today is, you know, thinking big and not letting those limiting beliefs get in the way of your productivity, your success, your business, your whole direction in life. And, you know, as I work with a lot of our owners and clients, a lot of people come into the coaching arena with these limiting beliefs that they can't do certain things, especially solopreneurs and entrepreneurs. And when they're first starting out, this imposter syndrome creeps in, and it's the limiting belief that really people possess. And, you know, like, I lost my confidence. No, you didn't lose your confidence. Your confidence is there within you. You're just suppressing it. You're not letting it be. You're creating these limiting beliefs about you that really don't exist. And, you know, it's just an excuse because it's out of fear that we create the limiting belief, right? Fear is, and the anxiety of trying something new and doing something new gets in the way of, we had a little accident there, a little technical issue, but you can't see this and you're just listening. Yeah, exactly.
The entire light ring just fell on top
because the dog knocked it over. I have the dog in here with me.
The world is trying to shine a light on you, Thomas.
Exactly. That's what it is. My light, my essence. No, but, you know, everybody comes into the coaching with these limiting beliefs. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of business owners do struggle with creating life harmony, is because they have all these fears and judgments that are coming their way that create this, and they stop thinking big. And one of the things we really help people to do is to think big. You know, believe that you can be at the top, believe that you can be the best in your industry and what you do. And we have a lot of times, we have a lot of work to do with people to break through each of these limiting beliefs. So I just thought it would be a great topic for us to cover today and give some fresh perspective on it. So, I mean, what do you think about, you know, how we've worked with a lot of our people on their limiting beliefs?
Yeah, I mean, for decades, I've subscribed to this as you have to believe that you can be at the top. But belief is only goes so far, right? It's like you can believe all the things you want, and you can try to manifest stuff by just wishing to the world it's going to happen. And I believe I could be whatever it's going to be. But guess what? That might not ever take place if you don't put in any kind of work, if you don't have some sort of a plan, if you don't have a target. And, you know, when we were writing down all the different episodes, and this was one of the ones that I really wanted to talk about, this is an aspect that every single person who's in business, every single person who works, every single person who has any type of aspiration can set your expectations on being the best at this thing, okay? So, you know, if you were going to say, I want to be the best basketball player, or I want to be the best baseball player, you know, that's kind of difficult, especially if you're, you know, in your 40s, you know. That's probably not going to happen. Actually, it's definitely not going to happen, okay? But when you're 3 or 4 years old, you can have that belief, and you can say, like, I want to be the best baseball player in the world. And you can work towards that. The odds of that happening are very, very low. But it doesn't mean you can't work towards this thing. And we're talking more about business owners, right? And you can be the best in your specialty, in your area, in whatever you're selling, whatever you're offering, whatever service you're providing, whatever product you're making. You actually can aspire to be the best in the world at that. And one of the ways that I have people gain the ability to do this is by really saying where or what or how they're going to be the best in that. So I'll give you an example. There was a real estate agent that was, before he was a client of mine, was a friend. And he decided to be the best in this one geographical location in Long Island. And it was a small little town, right? And the name of the town is Ronkonkoma. So we have a lot of strange names on Long Island coming from the Native American culture, and Ronkonkoma, or some people say Ronkonkoma. It's a major train line. Anyone who's been to New York, you always get to see, when you're in Penn Station in Manhattan, there's always the Ronkonkoma line, right? It's the longest, basically
longest one.
Longest lines, yeah. So he decided he was going to be the best in Ronkonkoma, right? He wasn't going to be the best in the world. He wasn't going to be the best in the United States. He wasn't even going to be the best in New York or the best in Long Island. He decided, I want to be the best in Ronkonkoma. And that was his whole drive, right? His drive was like, okay, I'm going to be the best here. I'm going to work towards this area and become the most well-known, the highest respected, the highest producing, giving my clients the best value for what they're asking me to do for them, which is sell their homes. Okay, well, he ended up becoming the best in Ronkonkoma. Well, that's great, it's wonderful, but does it stop there? No. What he then did is decided, I want to become the best in Long Island, and he did. And then he said, I want to become the best team, because he built a team now in New York, and he did, right? And maybe his next aspiration is in the Northeast or Long Island, or the country, and then maybe it could be the world. So why I'm telling you this story is, you can do this in anything that you're providing. Any business that you have is you could decide to be the best at a certain thing. So you could say, I'm going to be the best in a geographical location. I'm going to be the best in a very narrow marketplace, right? I'm going to be the best at selling school supplies to PTAs in America, right? And that's it. Not selling school supplies in general. You don't have to compete with Staples, but you could sell school supplies to PTAs. There's a group here at my PTA, and you get this laundry list of school supplies that you have to buy, and they already have it all packaged up. Yeah. Like, everything's done, and you can pay a certain amount of money. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to buy it. They deliver it to your house, and it's great. And these people are becoming more and more well-known, right? So you can pick whatever you want to do. Now, you have to understand if you can accomplish that, right? It can't just be this pie-in-the-sky dream. You have to say, can I accomplish it, number one, right? So at 44 years old, as I am, becoming the best baseball player in the world is literally impossible, okay? That can't be done. If I wanted to become the best baseball player for the 40 and over league in New York, I could certainly try to do that, right?
Right.
So there's limiting beliefs, and then there's unrealistic expectations.
Excellent point.
What's the difference between those two, Tom?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Unrealistic expectations. That is like, you have to have a dose of reality. And you have to, listen, we always set goals based on your reality. We use the SMART goal method to bring things into, is this a realistic goal for you? That's one of the R's in the SMART. Is it realistic for you? Can you really do this? Do you have the capability to do this? And, that doesn't mean that it's a limiting belief. It's facing reality that there are just certain physical limitations or certain limitations maybe that you do have that you have to learn how to exceed in some other way, right? So for example, my kids are good. My son is a great athlete. He's a great baseball player, but he doesn't play any other sports really. Like, could he be a good basketball player? Absolutely. But he believes that he is meant to be a baseball player and not a basketball player. Now, he's taking what he knows is realistic for him because maybe he's never going to be as tall as he needs to be for basketball. And let's be realistic. There have been short success stories in basketball, right? But the reality is that most of the great basketball players are these tall monster giants, and they have certain statures that are necessary for that. So you have to be realistic in your expectations of yourself and really recognize that there are certain things that you can't do or that you're not going to be able to do. But the limiting belief is that you don't have the ability to make the best in those situations, right? When you have that limiting belief of, oh, I can't be a basketball player because I'm not that tall. Well, that's not necessarily true. You could still probably be a decent basketball player. You're going to make it to the NBA? Probably not. But that doesn't mean you can't be a decent player. Like baseball, like I'm working with my son right now. He just started freshman year of high school, and we're already preparing for college because he wants to be a D1 baseball player. That's the goal. So we're doing everything that we can to put that into place. But we also know that his shot of being a Major League Baseball player is pretty unrealistic. He's a good ball player, but it doesn't mean you can stop doing what you really love doing. If you really love doing and you limit yourself from doing that, that's very different than saying it's unrealistic that I'm not going to be able to do that. Because the limiting belief is something that impacts your life in a very negative way. It is something that stops you from doing something that you enjoy doing, or it limits you, or it restricts you and paralyzes you from really opening up to the possibilities that still exist within what you're capable of doing and what your reality is. And this is where language is so important. And I talk about language a lot. I'm NLP certified, neuro-linguistic programming certified too. And we talk about the importance of rooting language in how we see ourselves and what we believe about ourselves. And the best way I can explain to people is limiting beliefs all start with, I can't do that, I won't do that, or I don't do that, versus where I can, will, and do. And if we just change those things and remove those words from our vocabulary, and we re-anchor ourselves in, I can do this, but I recognize I may not be able to do that. And it's not a full can't, right? Like, it's not, I can't do it. No, I can do this, and it's only going to get me to a certain point. That's not a limiting belief. When you say I can't do it and you never try, you never develop it, that's where it kills you. That's where you're not being realistic in your limiting expectation of yourself either. So I hope that's clear for people that, being realistic and having a limiting belief, reality doesn't paralyze you from living your life. A limiting belief can limit you from and paralyze you from doing the things you want to do.
So say that last statement again. That was powerful. Say it again.
So a limiting belief is the thing that can paralyze you from doing anything in your life, where reality still allows you to continue to live your life doing things that you may not be able to fully achieve. And it's really about the being paralyzed by that limiting belief. And I see so many of our clients, they come in, and this client today in particular, she had such a limiting belief that she had to do something a certain way to be successful. And she really didn't want to give this thing up. And she teaches part-time at a college. And she realizes how her belief in thinking that this was the only way she could live her life and she had to have teaching in her life, she all of a sudden has now realized she doesn't need that in her life because it's actually inhibiting her from achieving much more in her business. So now she has gotten away from this limiting belief that I have to do this, right? Sometimes it's a have to do. Also, it's not necessarily a can't do. It's I have to do this because that's the only way it could exist.
Right.
And that is a limiting belief in and of itself. But she's come to the realization, wait a second, it doesn't have to exist that way. And now she can move on and be more productive in her business. And the compensation she's losing from doing that other thing, she's going to make up in 1 month in her business.
Right.
So it's once you get rid of those limiting beliefs, you actually free yourself of all of your burdens and all of the things that weigh you down.
So, you have these limiting beliefs that you impose upon yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we also, as a society, have rules, right? Rules that are set in place. And this is one of the biggest obstacles that I see for most of the people, where I took them from just kind of mediocrity over to ultra successful, right? And ultra successful in whatever realm they want it to be in or what they've decided. Maybe society doesn't look at them as ultra successful, but when they look at where they are today versus where they were when they started with me, they honestly can't believe this is happening. I've had people be like, is this real? Is this a dream? I can't believe this life is what I live. I can't believe these things are what I'm doing. I can't believe this is the business I've built. And most of those people were subscribing to the rules set by society before them.
Mm-hmm.
And what you have to realize, especially in business, is most of these rules that were set up to keep you down, right? This society is built to keep most of us as employees. Stay in line, do what you're told, keep your head down, your mouth shut, and punch in and punch out.
Mm-hmm.
What you have to do is, if you want to become the greatest, at the top, the best, and whatever you're going to do, is you need to write the rules. You need to break the rules, obviously within legal bounds, but you need to break all those rules. People who are ultra successful, the day before they were ultra successful, everyone said they were batshit crazy. This idea is crazy. You're crazy. It's never going to work. And then all of a sudden it happens. Everyone's like, you're a genius. You're amazing. This is the best. It's that kind of mentality that you have to adopt in order to be the best, is that these rules are not made for me. These rules are not made for what I am about to achieve. And that will allow you to open up your complete mind to say, all right, now here's how I can be the best. I'm going to change the game. I'm going to rewrite the rules. And this is how I am going to go do that. Most of the people, again, who I've had success with have rewritten the rule book for themselves. And some of them have now written those rules for others. And they're like, wow, I can't believe that's a way you can do this thing. I should probably do that as well.
Yep. It's the dare to be different. That is the best way to categorize that. It's you got to dare to be different. I remember I had a teacher in college that just stopped me in the hallway one day because I had done something, and he came over to me and he goes, you always dare to be different. You don't let other things get in your way. And I said, it's more fun that way. And he compared me. It was so funny because I went to a Catholic high school. He said, you know who else dared to be different? I said, yeah, Jesus Christ dared to be different. And he became one of the greatest men in history, right? But dare to be different. I'm not saying I'm Jesus Christ, but here's the thing. The bottom line is that you have to dare to be different if you're going to have the success that you want, and you're going to get rid of anything that's a limiting belief. That dare to be different is what makes you successful. That dare to be different is what reshapes your reality. It's what makes you forget about the judgment of other people and even the judgment of yourself. You literally can say, F it, I'm not doing it that way. I'm going to do it this way because I feel that this is the best way for me to do it. And that's the confidence that we try to bring to our clients, and especially as owners of your business. You have to dare to be different. You have to dare to do the things that other people are not doing. We talk about it as, what's your differentiator? What makes you different? Well, sometimes what makes you different is the fact that you dare to be different from the competition, that you dare to go and try something that somebody else hasn't tried. And, again, innovation is that dare to be different too. It's that taking something that already exists and making it better and doing something new with it. But some people don't even have the courage to go and do it because they look at it as, oh, that works. Why would I break something that's not broken? And the point is that's where the greatest men of all time and the greatest women of all time have made things that have become these successes. It's because they dared to be different. And that's the key. If you want to eradicate any limiting belief in your life, you've got to dare to be different and be comfortable with being different. A lot of people, everybody, like you said, everybody wants you to blend in and fly below the radar and just do what you're going to do and just get by and, don't cause any problems. No, life is not meant to be that way. Life is meant for us to bring our uniqueness. Like, Adam, you and I had this great conversation yesterday describing, talking, we were going through a tough moment, and how we are both very different people and we look at things differently. And it's one of the things that makes our relationship and our business so unique, is that we're the yin and the yang of each other in many ways. But I'm not conforming to you and you're not conforming to me. And you're not letting my beliefs get in the way of your beliefs. And all of those things are keys about being different and daring to stay different. We feel like we have to blend in because we're a team. No, the best thing about being our team is that we have our differences. And that's what I think people have to recognize is limiting beliefs are these impositions that are put on us through external factors, society, our parents, whatever. Like my mother said, you can't play hockey. I thought I could be a really good hockey player. But I never gave myself that opportunity. I didn't dare in that area. And it's a regret that I carry on for the rest of my life. But it doesn't stop me from getting the ice and skating when I want to do that and enjoy that. when we don't recognize that we're being given beliefs that are not from ourselves and from other people, that's where they also become very limiting. Okay. You have to analyze and write down and go through a beliefs exercise at least once a year and say, do I still believe this thing? Because if you don't believe that thing, you're now out of alignment with what you're trying to do, and you have to rewrite that belief. And oftentimes you will find that some of those beliefs are limiting you from doing and making the progress that you should be making. So my thing here is just dare to be different.
I like it. There was I think it was a guy, Dan Hardy, who said when people are zigging, you have to zag. You ever hear that?
Yeah.
So, and what that, basically what it means is like, when people are running away from something, like you have to be the guy that's running towards it. Right. And that is the differentiator. That is rewriting the rule book. That is saying, you know what, I can be the best at this thing. So you have to empower yourself to have the ability to be different, to be the best, to have these realistic expectations, and then put the work in behind it. And that's what we talk about a lot, about, if you want to arrive at a destination, you need a map on how to get there. And that's what coaching and education is all about. That's what our consulting side of our business does. It really helps people to say, all right, well, what do I want to be? We have this thing called 5WH. It's who, what, where, when, why, how, that we implement inside of some of our programs. And it's like, who do you want to be and who do you want your business to be, right? Mm-hmm. It's that thing is, if you can start to define who you actually want to be, and that is, I want to be the best at this thing. Okay, I don't care if you say, I want to be the best guy in origami, mm-hmm. right? You can actually do that, right? You can actually go ahead and build the skill set and learn that. And that's what all this is. This is all about skill stacking, right? So if you want to be the best in anything at all, you have to develop the skill in that. Okay, and if you can write the rule book on here's what skills are needed in order to do this, you can change the world. You can be the best at that thing. So that's what I would say. I would say let's try to set plans. Let's try to have realistic expectations, but let's break all the rules and become the best at the thing that we want to, and that we have an inkling that we could. It's obviously very difficult, but we could actually do this.
Yeah, and think big. Just think big. Don't see just a little piece of the picture. See the whole picture. See what it could be. Dream it and see it, and then do everything you can to work towards it. And that's really the thing. We see so much potential in so many of our clients, and when they go through a process of coaching with us and they break through and they really identify who they are and who they want their business to be, they start to see the bigger picture that they never saw before. And the things that they once thought were impossible are now possible. And that's one of the things I love about that word impossible. I'm possible. Impossible is I'm possible. And that's what we have to remember is that we can make anything happen. We have the power within us to make anything happen. It's you have to believe that. And if you don't believe that, then you're limiting yourself from that belief. And that is something that only wrecks your potential and only really destroys what you really could be doing with your life and where you would want to be. So I think on that note, we can wrap up today. And, we want to encourage everybody. Listen, we have a bunch of workshops that are happening this month, and check it out. Go to our website at atomicbusinesscoaching.com. Also, if you want to sign up for one of our workshops, you can visit us at Atomic Business Coaching on Instagram and DM us. And check out, what we're going to be doing. We're going to do this awesome one-page business plan and one-page owner plan. And it's really something to simplify you being able to carry out a nice business plan that's actionable and doesn't get put on a shelf and never get implemented. So sign up for that. Reach out to us. We'll put the link, and you know what? We'll even put the link to schedule for a workshop right in the show notes. So that's really easy for you. And we'll talk to you next time.